The Conbini boys, they're the Conbini boys, they're the Conbini boys.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
It's going pretty good here, Mike. Actually, better than normal, because it's not just the two of us today. We have a special guest, don't we?
That's exactly right, Matt. As you know, there's we often talk about the legends, the Hall of Fame of the Konbini. There's
right.
some names that come to mind. The super salary man. There's Matsumoto and his Gavin Whitelaw. Matsumoto and his war with 7-Eleven. Karage or Famichiki Senpai. And then Matt, there's another name. There's Patrick St Michel from the longtime running Japan Times column Konbini Watch. And Matt, I'm really happy to say that we actually have Patrick in the podcast today, joining us today. Patrick, welcome to the Konbini Boys podcast.
Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello, Konbini Boys world, Konbini Boys listeners. Thank you for welcoming into your fold. And for that beautiful, I feel like I should almost die because it was such a good eulogy almost. It's like nothing I do is going to top that moving forward.
Well, you joined just in time for my cat to use the litter box over here, so get a little bit of that in the background, which is perfect. Thanks for joining here, Patrick. And, that's a terrific background you got going on there. Just to give a bit of a description, he has a digital character from Lawson. I understand this is a Vocaloid character, Patrick. Is that right?
Yes, this is a character named Aiko Lloyd-chan. She was created, I want to say, in 2012, and she's part of the popular, it's kind of like a music subgenre / entire subculture in Japan called Vocaloid, which refers to this singing synthesizer software. Install it on your computer,
Amazing. Press
some buttons, it generates a voice, and you have a singer for your music. Listeners who are completely lost at this point, you might know the digital pop star Hatsune Miku. She's gotten a lot of attention for look at this hologram do a concert. So Akiko Lloyd-chan is part of that extended family. She's an official Lawson branded Vocaloid character, meaning that anyone could purchase her, it's called a voice bank, and then just create their own music using this Lawson character. As you can see, for anyone tuning in to YouTube, you can see over here, Karage-kun is kind of always just around her, almost like a pet of some sort. So, I don't know what has happened to her in the years since. I feel she had a good 3-year run in the Vocaloid community, and I think Lawson just kind of nudged her to the back, and we're kind of let's bring out some fresh talent. This is how Japanese entertainment works. Got to keep it fresh. She's been graduated.
Yeah, got to move on from the holograms, right?
But I will honor her tonight by having her peer over my shoulder, and maybe unsettle a few people who are tuned in.
Well, we welcome her, and Patrick, having you on today, it's not a complete coincidence. Actually, we just wanted to again say thanks. Patrick featured us for the 20 questions column in the Japan Times, and that actually came out, I think it was Tuesday, was it? This week?
It was, I want to say maybe last weekend, maybe start of the week.
Last week, okay.
But of course, obviously I'll applaud it for myself just to get on this podcast, as we all know, as we reveal now, actually. But no, it's incredible podcast. Love you guys, and thank you so much for talking with the Japan Times. Anyone can check that story out. Just head on over to Japan Times, do a nice little Google search, Japan Times Konbini Boys. You'll learn so much about the hosts that you love so much.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Patrick. And it was great talking to you guys. If only to pick up your mom as our newest fan. So that was great news to hear. And
my mom loves you guys. as I found out today, she's listened to like every episode. She's caught up.
52 episodes, yeah. We're big with moms, apparently, so we're thinking about changing our whole messaging, marketing, and branding to really lean into that segment. But maybe we could just start off, Patrick, with, how did you find yourself in Japan? What's your history? How did you become a writer? And then, of course, how did Konbini Watch, your fantastic, famous column, come about?
Oh, this is glowing praise. Love it. I'm going to go on so many more podcasts. So I came to Japan in 2009 after sort of graduating university. I came over on the JET program because whoop, whoop. And I didn't know what to do with my life at the time. I had studied journalism in college, but even back then, the journalism industry in America, where I'm from originally, was not so hot. So I thought, okay, I'll go to Japan and teach English for like a year or two max. And I ended up in Mie Prefecture, which is kind of between Nagoya and Osaka, lovely countryside area. And funny enough, like early on, Konbinis just became such a like staple of my life.
Absolutely.
Lifestyle and life. Which really owes to the fact like I have zero cooking ability and I'm lazy. So it was just like every night, and it really literally like every night, it was probably alarming for the first year. We only had Lawson in the town I was living in. So I would go to the Lawson. Yeah, not too bad. I'd go to the Lawson near the station and just get like a El Chicky or a bag of popcorn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all just work through the entire inventory over the course of 2 years. Eventually, we got a Family Mart a year and a half in. That was a sort of eyes opening to see a whole new world moment.
Sure.
Introduction of Family Chicky.
Good.
So yeah, Konbinis have always been like part of my being, literally. And during all of this, while I'm living in the countryside in Mie, there's not much to do in Mie. You just hang out. So I just started keeping a music blog, Make Believe Melodies. Check it out. And just kind of writing about Japanese music as I was trying to learn about it. I have a big, besides Konbini Watch, I also do a lot of writing about Japanese music. And this was kind of the genesis of that too. And as the years go on, I start getting opportunities to write for publications such as the Japan Times, primarily about music. And that sort of nudges me to stay in Japan. So that original 2 years and out plan
out the window
completely falls apart. I don't even want to count how many years it's been now. Listeners can do the math. Thank you. Again, I studied journalism, and math was not part of that. That kind of became the main reason for staying. But along the way, I eventually moved to Tokyo, and I actually started, initially I lived with my editor, because he just had an extra room. And I really think that he observed my eating habits, which was 90% 7-Eleven. It was and after the initial horror, he eventually, there was already a column at the Japan Times, the Konbini Watch column, that somebody had been doing for a little bit, but I think they stepped away from it, and he was like, I think you would be perfect for this. So I was just looking today when that was. I want to say 2014 was when I started.
2014. Wow. And it was a weekly column, right?
Yes, it was a weekly column. It actually started the first week of 2015 for me. And that was with what flavor? Pepsi Pink Cola, which
that was the first item.
The first item I ever reviewed. It was a strawberry milk flavored Pepsi beverage that looked sort of like a very glossy Pepto-Bismol. Yeah, with a Jolly Rancher finish. So yeah, that was the origin. And what was it? I actually asked a friend at the time who said it tastes like body soap. Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's better than I thought it would be.
So that became a bi-weekly column. I also did something called Dessert Watch, which was more focused on like local dessert chains and trends.
Wow.
And yeah, that lasted.
Cool.
Yeah, that lasted until, when did that finish? I want to say that finished in a couple weeks ago, actually. They decided to sort of change the direction of the page. And yeah, it is officially, my Konbini Watch is over.
One of the worst decisions. I don't want to step on any feet here, but you hear the stuff recently about like someone, they're like, I had Bitcoin and I used 100 Bitcoin to buy a pizza. I think this is a similar sort of situation where, this is right at the time when the Conbini is really going to be taking off. And, hey, I know you have to make decisions, but, if it can be any sort of help, I'd strongly advise whoever made this decision to just maybe reconsider. Sorry. Anyways,
if anyone wants to start a change.org petition,
that's right.
I will retweet it at least once. So, but yeah, that's pretty much my background. So
awesome. Well, so you were talking about the Konbini Watch, and actually, before we head off onto the other things, I just wanted to ask, like, was there anything that like really sticks in your memory as like a really sort of interesting or bizarre, or just something from your time at Konbini Watch that really sticks out to you?
Yeah, it's funny, not to pull the curtain back too much, but when you requested that I kind of think about this, I went through like the entire archive of everything I'd written.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Which was a trip, honestly.
I'm sure. That was 7 or 8 years? 7 years, maybe?
Maybe about 7, bordering 7.
That's crazy. Wow.
It's a long time to have it. I mean, and just to be clear for anyone curious, I'm still maintaining the same sort of diet of largely eating Konbini food. So I don't want people to think now that this column's over that I'm somehow healthy or living a better life. No. Konbini till I die. So when you brought that up and I went through it, something that struck me as like, something that surprised me was I feel Konbini releases like 5 or 4 years ago were trying to be kind of more sort of like, maybe not shocking, but they were trying to be more like, what? Look at this flavor. Going through it, I was surprised that like at one point, one candy company had released a salmon flavored candy.
Oh.
Yeah, this was in 2015 in the summer. Pucho, a very famous like soft candy.
Soft candy,
in Japan.
Yeah.
They released a salt salmon flavor.
Salt salmon. Wow.
In collaboration with a new, at the time, Sanrio character, Kirini-chan, who's sort of modeled after a slice of fish. Yeah, highly recommend looking into that. And then it was just going through and seeing stuff like there was a chip company that kept releasing like fruit flavored chips.
Fruit flavor. Oh, nice.
And then that eventually like sort of spilled over into them releasing a strawberry shortcake chip that was revolting. Like that memory rushed back as being terrible. And there was just the biggest thing that I think has been lost to Konbini history as of late is that at some point Pepsi Japan just gave up because there was a period where they were just known both in Japan and also kind of on, at least in English language internet circles, for releasing like quote unquote weird flavors.
Right.
So this was kind of like in the early 2010s, maybe late aughts. It was like introducing cucumber Pepsi.
I was just about to say cucumber. I remember cucumber Pepsi.
see, that was their big intro into this like bizarro market. And so they came out swinging with that. And then they also had stuff like salty watermelon, all sorts of things that they had. I have to double check the pronunciation so I don't offend anyone. Baobab, like it's a type of nut from Africa. They had that flavored Pepsi.
Okay.
Wow.
I remember before Konbini Watch, like excitedly buying that while I was at school one day, like, ooh, I get to drink this on my lunch break. And it was like, oh, it's okay. But
it's a full-time employee scouring the earth for rare nuts to put inside of Konbini Pepsi flavors. It's an awesome job.
But at some point, Pepsi just like, their special flavors now, they're just like all holiday flavors. So it's like Christmas Pepsi, Halloween Pepsi, and it's all just like different degrees of sweet. It's like somebody at the Pepsi factory is just like I don't know, they're putting different force on the faucet that pours the sugar into it. So there was a period though where Pepsi was really going for it, and they just abandoned that at some point. And I feel Konbini food has been trying to be more legitimate recently. You know, it's trying to be like, look, we're not here for gimmicks. We're not here for like novelty. We're here for great taste. You know, hearty taste. We might throw a few curveballs at you, but it's not going to be too crazy. You know, there's no cucumber flavored things here, except the cucumber. So.
Yeah, we haven't come across anything like a salmon, salt, chewy candy in our 52 weeks doing the podcast. We haven't featured any Pepsi since starting the podcast, so I know this may be surprising for our listeners here, but believe it or not, yeah, maybe we're in the tamer days of the Conbini, the sort of wild west where you think 7-Eleven's doing wacky stuff now. Hey, go back to 2009. Okay, all kinds of whacked out stuff hitting the shelves.
You don't know what it was like.
You don't even know.
Yeah, I just want to say we love the column. We hope to see it again one day. And like, I recommend people to like, even though it's ended, to go back and look, because it's something kind of like what you were saying right now that I always felt like reading it, is that even though sometimes you're just picking up an item and talking about it, like you tend to like it tends to like sort of like describe trends, which I really liked. And so I think, yeah, if you want like a history of the Konbini for the past 7 years, you know, go back and check out Konbini Watch in its full form. All right, Patrick. All right. Well, I guess we should probably head into let's
get into that Konbini Boys content.
We got to dive in here. We got a lot to cover as usual. It's great to have you with us, Patrick, to go through the agenda here. As always, we're leading off with the Chicky Wars. You know, this is where we take a look at the new Chickies coming out this week. And we only have one this week. Chicky Wars have been kind of slow this year. We're hoping they pick up in the second half. But out of Lawson, we got a new El Chicky coming out. This is the black pepper sauce Chicky here. Just a little description for our listeners. Of course, the El Chicky boneless chicken. But what we got here, ladies and gentlemen, is they got the black pepper. Not as a little dusting of seasoning. This thing is sprayed on. Black pepper sauce. Little different than what we're normally used to seeing. I don't know. Patrick, can we get your reaction to this El Chicky out of Lawson here?
I mean, the best El Chickies are always the ones where they just coat it to the point of not resembling any other food on the planet. And this looks beautiful to me. Like, this is the type of tanning situation you really want from a snack.
Yeah, this thing did go to the Donald Trump school of tanning here. Yeah, this thing looks like it walked into a booth and person who was spraying was a little tipsy. Yeah, that thing is jacked up.
Yeah. I think it looks great. Like you said, I love when they wipe on that sauce onto the El Chickies. This looks to be like one of those, and I'd love to get it out, and I'm sure that I probably will at some point coming up here soon.
All right. Only one Chicky this week, so that wraps up the Chicky Wars. Mike, why don't you take us over to the scoreboard?
That's right. We're heading over to the scoreboard as always, and this week I'm going to hit you with some numbers here. Okay, we got Family Mart with 58 items, Lawson 37, 7-Eleven 104, Mini Stop 27, Daily Yamazaki 8, Seiko Mart 6, Poplar New Days 18 items. What do you guys think? Any thoughts on this?
I gotta say, I think the Golden Week hangover is now over. People seem to be playing right in their wheelhouses. 7-Eleven back over the century mark, Family Mart nearing 60. Poplar still, we don't know. Are they pushing out new items? It's not clear anymore. But overall, I think, hey, it's a good sign. Vacation's over. Everybody's back to work.
Patrick, any thoughts on these numbers?
Man, poor Poplar, just existing in a sort of Bermuda Triangle of Conbini existence. Man, oh man, I feel for him. I'm always. It's funny, because during Golden Week, I had the chance to go to Seiko Mart and make that pilgrimage as I do every few months, and I'm just always struck, I see these numbers. You see 7-Eleven putting up these like Mike Trout numbers. And you're like, that looks great, but does it have any results? Like how much of that is just empty? You go to Seiko Mart, I guarantee you those 6 items, everyone hits. Everyone is just, I can imagine the quality. Yeah. So I just wish more convenience stores would, learn that sometimes less is better. Really fine-tuning what you put out there is better than sort of flooding the zone.
It's an interesting point. 7-Eleven certainly takes a buckshot approach to their product development where it's not really clear if they're aiming at anything. But a lot comes out. No doubt about it.
All right. Well, of course, masterful analysis from the legend himself, Patrick. All right, guys. Well, let's head on over to our winners and losers. This week we have Patrick with us as well, so we got a bunch of interesting winners and losers to look at. And since he is our guest, I say we start with Patrick. So we're going to start first with Patrick's loser. So I'm going to throw it up on screen. And boom, Patrick, what are we looking at here?
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
So this is coming out of Lawson. This is the Shirasu, pepperoncino. So I guess I'll preface this sort of, put a nice mattress underneath it just in case this offends. I personally am someone who is not a fan of shirasu, which is a really small fish that works its way into a lot of foods in Japan. We're zooming in on it for the YouTube people, and I feel sick looking at it.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I need to face my fears, and that's why you go on the Conbini Boys. But so yeah, it's a personal taste thing. And whenever I see sort of a pile of these small fish sort of dropped into any other food, to me there's something just unnerving about it. And in this case, this is a sort of pepperoncino pasta along with a little bit of vegetable thrown in to make you feel like you're eating something healthy. And it's just something about it that just even looking at, ignoring that going into it, I'm not going to like how it tastes. Just the sort of the visual aesthetic, the visual appeal of it is just not good. It looks like somebody just dumped a bowl of these little fish onto some pasta and said, here you go. And I don't like that. You got to try a little bit. At least make it presentable.
Yeah, that's often how they show up, isn't it? It's like you're having a nice time and then somebody just, farted. Blew up the whole party here. That's what shirasu really are. I actually didn't realize, they're commonly served at school lunch. So, people on jet, you get the school lunch and you get some shirasu on your rice there. Again, little tiny little fish. I didn't realize they were fish early on. I thought they were some kind of weird sort of seasoning. And then one day I looked down and I realized all these eyeballs looking back at me. And I thought, oh my God, these are, man, ooh. Yeah, these things are staring right back at you. You're going to look it right in the eye as you're consuming these things. And there are dozens of them because they're so little. They just pile them right on top. And why pepperoncino? What is this adding to pepperoncino? That's a great pasta dish. Lawson, you had it, and then you ruined it. Again, you just sort of farted in the party here. I don't understand what they were thinking. This is a strong loser here, Patrick. Couldn't agree more with you.
Too much. Get it out of here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I'll just say that I don't mind Shirasu. I will say, but I agree. The combination in general, even as someone who likes Shirasu, this isn't something you're going to look at and be excited about. And also, I don't know why you'd use a fork to eat this. That doesn't really make sense to me as well. So, all right. Well, okay. Let's head on over to the next one, and this time we're looking at Matt. This is Matt's loser for the week. Matt, what are we looking at here?
I'm honestly not sure what we're looking at here, Mike. This is called Udine chicken here. Google Translate says this is deep fried chicken and soy sauce. Let's be honest. It looks like 7-Eleven was playing whack-a-mole with a pixel machine and just started lighting up random blocks here. You can't make out shapes. I see colors. I see yellow. I see red. I see brown. I don't see food, though. This thing looks like, a meal you'd find in a PlayStation 2 RPG to heal your character. Not something you consume as a human being. Also, this thing probably greased up to the tilt here. You eat 3 of these boys, and you could probably get a part-time job running a Geronimo water slide out of your butt cheeks. Let's be honest here. This thing looks dangerous. So I don't know what this is. They say there's chicken in it. I can't really say for sure what it is, though. So yeah, this is my loser out of 7-Eleven. Speaking of quality, yeah, this is...
Yeah. I'll take the first crack or first follow up here, if that's all right. Yeah, Matt, I agree. I think you put it perfectly. It's fairly uncertain what this is. I'm sure that someone knows, but yeah, it's hard to get excited about a product that doesn't seem to have any form or noticeable sort of characteristics that tell you what it is. Yeah, total loser. I totally agree.
This looks like when you go hiking in the fall, you'll see leaves covering the ground, and you don't know what's under the leaves. It could be anything. It could be a fresh, wet soil. It could be more leaves. It could be a body. And this is what I see when I look at this this very autumnal colored food item. It's just, again, the visual side of it is just so unappealing right off the bat. When I go to Conbini, my eyes are the first thing that are going to make decisions here.
Absolutely.
And when I see this, I see a very, very depressing hike up a mountain. I want to just go home. It's wet. It's no good. I don't want to eat that,
Yeah.
Well said.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, hey, going on to our last loser. Let's get through these losers so we get on those winners. All right, everybody. This is mine. This is coming out of Lawson, and this is the toast sand tamago and tuna. So this is a egg and tuna toast sandwich, which sounds pretty good. Good. Let me explain what my problem is here. First of all, so we're looking at a sandwich. On the top, it has, I guess, on the top is the egg. This is egg that's been sort of wiped on top. On top of that, you have some squirts of ketchup, and then you have a really thick cut bread inside, which I guess is tuna. And so this is the toast sand, tuna, and egg. So in general, I'd eat this. It's not terrible, but I just don't really understand this top layer here. If this was egg that was sort of inside, maybe I'd understand it more. And then this ketchup as well. I'm not really a ketchup on egg sort of person. In general, I think with a toast sandwich, it's something that you can do so much with. It would be so easy to just, make this a home run, knock it out of the park. But I felt like with what they were working with and what they were trying, this just didn't really hit the mark for me.
Yeah, it's also not clear to me if they are just taking a thick slice of bread and creating a pouch inside and inserting a little bit of tuna. The filling is almost, you can't even see it. There's so little tuna in there. This is all bread. The egg on top, I agree. It's a little bit, you got to think of all the effort they made to sort of, I guess, broil scrambled egg on top. I don't know what that is. And then the ketchup, I agree. I do like ketchup on eggs. I don't like ketchup with tuna salad, which sounds pretty gross. It seems like they're trying to combine breakfast and lunch all at once. This is sort of a diner menu all in one sandwich here, and it's gone a little haywire. I'd probably try it out of curiosity, but yeah, definitely not something I would seek out.
Yeah,
it's needless innovation. They're taking things that would have been perfectly fine on their sort of own like merits, like just I don't know, like an open faced sandwich or something. Like
right.
You don't have to cram the tuna in there. You don't have to put the eggs on top and sort of create this weird layered. It's like looking at a map of the Earth when you cut it open to teach you like what soil looks like or something.
Yep.
Like this is just this is Lawson trying to be too fancy. They're trying to get people to buy something that already exists in a much better form. And I would say, cut it out, guys. Keep it simple.
Oh man,
needless innovation. Well said.
Great analysis. Yes. All right, everyone.
Hate to see it.
Hate to see it. You hate to see it. But what we do like to see is our winners, and we're heading over to the winners now. Everybody's getting excited. People tune in. They want to see the winner. So we're going to start again with our guest, Patrick. So what is your winner for this week?
So this week's winner, when you guys asked me to take a stroll down memory lane and revisit my, the things I've written over the past 6-7 years for Konbini Watch, I thought it was appropriate that this year, Family Mart is celebrating their 40th anniversary. And as part of this sort of year-long celebration of, one of the best stories in Japanese Konbini history, something that deserves probably a special 10-part sort of a podcast deep dive, if you will. They're kind of like releasing special items. Some of them are kind of re-releases of things that have come out in the past, such as this, the Rich Frappe Strawberry 2017. That year prominently displayed in the name. Taking you back to a simpler time, pre-COVID, everything was great, obviously, 2017. What was wrong back then? Don't look into that. I remember for Konbini Watch, I've reviewed other flavors. They had a mint chocolate chip one a few years back that was really good. So this line of Family Mart, like ready to make drinks, you take them to the same coffee station that you get the instant blend coffee, and you just shoot some hot milk in there, and it's ready to go. But I'd never had this one. So tonight, actually, while I was walking on over to where I've come to record today's podcast, it's a balmy, lovely, pre-summer evening here in Tokyo. So I stopped by the Family Mart and grabbed me this 2017 throwback and just enjoyed it while I was walking over. Yeah. And I gotta say, part of it is situational. This is perfect for these early summer nights. This is cool. You got these chunks of strawberry in there. Not quite a milkshake, but approaching that consistency. Something you gotta take the special straw they give you. There's a little slight indentation at the end that allows you to use it as an ad hoc spoon. You just gotta scoop the stuff up that won't come up because those strawberries are blocking the straw. It's a delight. A real perfect seasonal treat.
I love a nice thick frap, where you're sucking so hard it feels like your eyeballs are just gonna slip back into your head and get sucked up with that thick ice cream. This is a strawberry here, one of my favorite flavors growing up as a kid. What I'm impressed by here is the strawberry chunks in this thing. This isn't just some artificial flavoring. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of that too.
Let's not give them too much credit here.
They got some real strawberry chunks in there. And, Mini Stop is really the gold standard when it comes to ice cream items, but Family Mart here is really putting out a strong contender, it looks like, with this rich frappe strawberry 2017. And no doubt about it, hey, late spring, early summer, no better time to be walking outside, a little hot, you got a nice little cool beverage with you. I like it.
people looking at you horrified as you're walking down the street, sucking out of the straw. People be like, it's 7 o'clock. What is this guy doing? Summer,
That's
guys,
true.
it's great.
Yeah, don't
That's
walk
that's
in
a personal problem for me, so don't worry.
Yeah, I agree. This is amazing. I'm sure the flavor and everything is great as well. But what really, caught my eye is what you were describing about this sort of trend. And I really like this. The 2017, that this is branded as, this was an item from 2017. They've got the Fukatsu, written big on the side there. This is the revival. I think that this has a lot of potential, because I from the time that we spent looking at the Konbini, a lot of times, they'll re-release items without much fanfare. But I feel like this is a way that you can really kind of sell it as well. I think it's a nice marketing tool as well. And it's also exciting, oh yeah, that thing that I had back in 2013, it's not just coming out exactly the same. This is kind of, some ceremony to it. I love it. This is awesome. And love to give it a try. All right. Well, thank you, Patrick. We're going to head over to Matt's winner this week, and here we go. What are we looking at, Matt? Oh,
yeah, this is out of Lawson, Mike, and it's Go-Go Curry back in action. Okay, so Lawson has teamed up with the incredible Go-Go Curry. This is the Ishikawa-based curry shop chain, entirely based on Hideki Matsui, the spectacular Japanese ball player who wound up being sort of an above-average Yankees ball player. But what is this here? This is, he's no Shohei Ohtani, who's at Fenway Park, by the way, this weekend. Got to check him out. Hit a long... Actually, I was pretty impressed with what he did yesterday. Anyway, this is not a baseball podcast. This is Go-Go Curry. And we had a Mike Trout reference earlier. But Go-Go Curry. Okay, this is the best curry shop in Japan, I'm going to say. And we got a maze soba here, okay? What is maze soba? Maze soba, this is, it's ramen without the soup. So you get you get the ramen noodles, usually a thicker, chewier noodle, and then you got a bunch of toppings, and then you, mazeru means to stir up, to mix up. And so what we're looking at here, we got those chewy, thick noodles, and sitting on top, we got some sludgy Go-Go Curry, man. That thing looks like you could... build a house with that thing. Looks like you could plaster a wall with that stuff. Whoo, boy. Then we got some nakyo, those pickled whatever. I don't know what those are, but damn, they're good. We got some chopped up white stuff. We got some chopped up meat, I think, and then some green onions. You're going to stir that big boy up, and then you're going to slurpy, slurpy, slurpy. That thing's going to splash all over you. You're going to be looking like a hot mess when you're done with this one. Raw egg on top. Questionable, but once you mix that boy in, it's only going to get stickier and yummier. So, hey, I love what Lawson is doing, partnering with Go-Go Curry. They actually had 2 Go-Go Curry items out this week, but the maze soba, this is the one that caught my attention. I would be all over this. And the price, by the way, big reduction. Last week, they were pricing Go-Go Curry Katsu more expensively than Go-Go Curry actually prices they're saying that same curry in the restaurant by a couple hundred yen, which is it's a pretty tricky game Lawson's trying to play there. This one's 399 yen, nice little price there. I'd be all over this one.
Yep. I'll just to jump in real quick. Looks great, and being, Matt and I, we both spent a lot of time in Ishikawa. Gotta love the Go-Go Curry items coming out. And this isn't just, regional. These are nationwide releases. That's really exciting as well. Looks great, and I'd definitely have this, no doubt.
The pride that sort of flows out of how you describe, both of you describe this, the sort of regional, you just want to stand up, salute it sounds like. I will admit here, I'm not proud of this. I've never had Go-Go Curry. So I can't, I'll trust you guys that it's great. Hideki Matsui, the World Series MVP, let's not downplay that.
That's
true. Very true. I will say, as a maze soba, this looks great. I think maze soba, once you mix it up, you get everything out there, including that egg, something I'm usually hesitant about personally. But when it's sort of, when you just get it in, and as you said, make it all sticky and nice, I mean, just the ingredients there. I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's no way that could go wrong. That's there's nothing there that's going to make me go that shouldn't be there.
It looks like an artist's palette, and it's just waiting to paint the most beautiful picture. You know what I mean? Damn, that looks good. All right.
We've gone from things that you use to build a house to the next thing go. So.
Oh my God.
We got to move on. I'm about to.
Yeah. All right. Awesome item.
That's fair.
Okay, now we're going on to my winner this week, and I'll say I'm a little bit. Well, let me just show you what we're looking at here. Boom.
Ooh.
All right, everybody. Yeah, this is going to be a controversial.
How many times?
This is an item. I will preface this by saying this was almost both my winner and loser for the week. So
wow,
that was going to be a first. All right, what are we looking at here? We're looking at Mike's popcorn. You know, the classic shoyu butter flavor. But this time, ladies and gentlemen, this is the wasabi and soy sauce flavor. So, all right, wasabi and soy sauce, you know, what do you think? You're thinking sashimi, right? You're probably not thinking popcorn, but let me just describe why I'm really liking this. So, I love wasabi, you know. I love Mike's popcorn. I'm skeptical that this is actually good, but this is the sort of item, and Patrick, actually, you know, sort of like what you were talking about before, about being like sort of like, you know, exciting. This is the sort of item that I would just have to buy. Like, and I think next time I go to the Conbini and I see it, I'm just going to like, you know, without even thinking, just kind of put it in my basket and not, you know, really think about it. You know, it's exciting. It looks interesting. And the ingredients are also like pretty bare. And so I thought it was pretty cool that they, you know, made this sort of item that you really want to buy with such like, so, you know, few sort of ingredients. As to the flavor, I'm not sure. I'm sure you guys have some ideas on that. But yeah, this is my questionable winner for the week.
You know, my big takeaway here is, Mike, you really like popcorn. Popcorn has appeared like a few times now on the winners list. It's and here it is again. This is a Frito-Lay product, okay, everybody? Hey, how many times has Frito-Lay released a cool popcorn flavor in the U.S.? 0 times. What's going on here? You know, why is all the innovation happening in Japan? They got the PlayStation. They got the, you know, Sony 4K, 812, whatever TV. Now we got wasabi shoyu flavored popcorn. Now, I'm a little bit worried about this because wasabi, you get that nose blast, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And normally you eat popcorn, nobody's eating one kernel at a time. You're taking a fistful of that, you know, and you're just stuffing it in. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you're just stuffing, you know, a handful of wasabi in your mouth, I can't imagine. You know, you're going to be breathing fire with every bite. So I'd be a little bit worried about, you know, this might actually be painful to eat. But I would buy it. I think it would taste good. Exactly, but I do think you suffer through some discomfort while consuming it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, it's all about what balance are they going to strike with these flavors.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly.
Whenever you get any of the sort of the potato chips that prominently feature wasabi, you know, some of them they just get the nice subtleness that you want, that little spice that makes you a little delightful. But you know, you have other ones, they just burn. It's like, why don't I just throw chili powder into my mouth and just writhe around on the floor? So that's kind of my, like, going into it. I'm like, how much of this is soy sauce? How much of this is wasabi? Can they sort of walk that flavor tightrope?
Oh yeah.
Then that said, I would absolutely buy this. To go back to this sort of something I've harped on a lot, the visual presentation.
Oh yes,
just a lovely package. Look at that festive green and white, like a circus inviting me into its big tent. Yes. You know, you got your favorites in the soy sauce and something a little more daring with the wasabi. You know, a little dangerous. Mm-hmm. You know, I see that, I'm like, ooh. You know, is this right? That's only one way to find out. So this has piqued my interest, and the moment next week rolls around, this is probably lunch for one day.
Oh yeah,
no, absolutely
amazing analysis, Matt. We're really in the presence of the master here. I got to say, this is an incredible analysis. All right.
Could you imagine my editors having to deal with this every week? They were just like, delete, 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 get to the point, delete, delete, delete.
Yeah.
Well,
they limit on the podcast here. Go on as long as you want. Yeah.
That's exactly right. No, amazing. I mean, we could probably quote. I mean, I already have like 5 that I got to take a memo on because these are just amazing. All right, okay, all right. So normally we close it out here, but because we have Patrick on this week, Patrick actually threw out an item that he was excited for next week. So we're gonna give one last go round here. This is Patrick's, item to look out for, or that he's excited for next week. I'm just gonna give you the floor, Patrick. What are we looking at here? Oh my goodness.
Oh, we're going to 7-Eleven now, to the 7-Eleven premium line of desserts. Their waffle cone ice cream offerings. This is... They always deliver on this front. Just even the basic vanilla flavor is a knockout. I highly recommend. You see that little like plastic cone over it, you grab it. Be careful. I actually recently dropped one in the middle of the store and it shattered, and it was a very awkward moment. People rushing over to be like, let me help you. And I was like, my ice cream. I digress. The latest flavor they're going to roll out is Hojicha, which is a sort of a tea varietal. And, just knowing the quality that this line of dessert from 7-Eleven has delivered in the past, coupled with, as we touched on before, the current warm weather situation across Japan. I'm just picturing walk into a park, sitting on a bench and just licking into this and enjoying it. And I think it's just a confluence of things that are going to make this a real treat in the coming weeks. So I highly recommend this for anyone looking for a nice cool treat to get you through these warm days.
And it's so nice to see Hojicha. You most commonly see matcha. And matcha, it's so overplayed. We got to move on, everybody. There's so much else out there to explore. Hojicha is one of those. It's got this nice, subtle, kind of roasted flavor to it. And that's going to be in a nice, cool, creamy ice cream. Love the waffle cone, by the way. Big fan of the waffle cone. That also looks like a healthy serving there. You're going to... sucking down a few calories with that boy, but no, this looks outstanding out of 7-Eleven next week.
Yeah, looks amazing. Hojicha, love it. I'm just gonna leave it with your guys' words there. Amazing. I'm also, I'm on this lemon dough 9%. I'm starting to lose it, so I'm gonna close it out here. That's it for the scoreboards and the winners and losers this week. I think we're going to be heading to a sort of special final segment here. Is that right, Matt?
That's right, Mike. We always close with At the Gimba with Mike. The Gimba, of course, the place where the action happens, but this week we have Patrick with us, so we're going to the Gimba with Patrick here. Patrick's in Tokyo, the biggest Gimba of them all. Oh, yeah. And Patrick, you have an item you'd like to review for us. What do you got for us from the Gimba? Let me share. Actually, I got to pull it up on screen, but please go ahead.
Thank you for such a sort of exciting introduction to what is going to be one of the most boring items ever featured on your podcast.
What the hell is this?
What's going on here?
This looks great.
So I've also actually recently purchased one to bring with me for today's episode. Coca-Cola Japan, under the brand Canada Dry, has released their new Icy Spark line of soda water. So this is just carbonated water. There's nothing to it. It comes in a plain and lemon flavor. I opted for the lemon to add a little excitement. And you're thinking, you go to a convenience store, there's like 4 to 5 different varieties of soda that just taste like nothing. 0 calories. There's nothing here. This is for people like me who don't want to drink water because they're a baby, because they need some sort of fizz. And they know their market, because I've purchased this multiple times this week. But what surprised me about this is when it first came out at the start of the week, I would go to the 7-Eleven or Lawson, and they were just completely sold out of this.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Big run.
No, it's possible because, as you can see on the screen for anyone tuning into the YouTube side of it, the advertising campaign is revolved around like a polar bear who's also a scientist.
Oh,
So,
what?
yeah, I would recommend everyone to sort of, do a good old YouTube search for Icy Spark. And the main commercial they have is like, it starts with a polar bear like wearing a lab coat, running around, like bossing human scientists around. Total disrespect for the food chain, of course. But then I guess they harness the power of Icy Spark, and he sort of returns to his, his pre-civilization self, sort of strong wild beast who's free of the shackles of civilization. Pretty cool. And yeah, this tastes like any other soda on the market. However, thanks to the sort of Russian nesting doll of branding, Coca-Cola Japan, Canada Dry, new brand Icy Spark, I think it's actually connected with consumers who are curious. Yeah. And, you're seeing a rush on this drink. At least for the first week. When I bought this an hour ago, it was completely in stock, so maybe people are over it now.
Okay. Is plain soda water, is that popular in Japan? I feel like I haven't actually seen plain seltzer in Japan before. Is it a thing?
It is, yeah. Like every Konbini now has their own like brand of soda water. Seltzer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know how exciting this is, but Family Mart actually just introduced their own brand of unflavored soda water, which, as you could, for the soda water community, was a big moment. But you also have brands like Wilkinson is here, and they've been getting sort of a big push as of late to sell it. And you have just a few other, like Suntory has their own. Yeah, it's there, and sometimes they can at least get interesting with the flavors. I want to say Suntory has a really good grapefruit one out right now. But yeah, Coca-Cola, much like with the lemon sour that we all know and love, Lemon Dough, they're getting into this market too.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That's something I wanted to say is I had great doubts. I think sort of like growing up as an American, you have sort of doubt about Coca-Cola, the company in general. And I really, had a big sort of like change within myself because of Lemon Dough. And I think, and I'm wondering if Icy Spark maybe will have the same sort of effect. I will say one thing that I've noticed. This says Saikyo Tansansoi. This is the most strong tansan. I would say it seems like in recent years there's been sort of an escalation of the strongest the strongest soda water. I don't know if this is like, did you feel that this soda was even like more carbonated than other sodas that you've had before?
I would say it's pretty high up there. If you're you're plotting it out on the sort of graph of most carbonated soda water. That said, the 7-Eleven brand strong soda water, that's the strongest, and it doesn't come close to that. Icy Spark, it's lacking that spark. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, that's a little misleading. And I know multinational conglomerates like Coca-Cola can, just trot out their PR to get people interested in this, but the truth is in the fizz, and I recommend if you want the strength, go with the 7-Eleven brand.
Well, I'm a proud Soda Stream owner. I'm a huge fan of seltzer, and actually the other day Karen actually did 8 pumps on the Soda Stream.
Whoa.
The max advised is 7, so her head almost exploded.
I was gonna say, how are you here?
Sip. Yeah, it was a dicey situation for a little while. So good to hear that they're not messing around with that kind of fizz here. Don't want to put any kind of dangerous product out on the shelf. This could be an opportunity because what better platform is there than just fizzy plain water? Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about whacked out flavors, lemon. This is a blank canvas here. Everybody put whatever you want into the plain seltzer. Let's have some fun with this. Let's get the cucumber back. Let's get the pink strawberry milk cream flavor back. You know,
salmon
salt flavored seltzer, and that's a thing actually. Well, so in the U.S., seltzer's blown up. There are all these seltzer brands, and actually, there's one in Worcester, my hometown, called Polar. That's recently exploded, and they have these limited edition flavored cans that have actually become collectibles, and they have flavors like unicorn. I mean, these aren't even flavors; they're just things.
That's a creature.
It's a creature. So this is an instance where U.S. soda brands are actually out ahead of Japan in terms of innovation. And no doubt, you know, I see Japan running away with this eventually. Who knows? Hologram seltzers. I don't know where this is going. But definitely it's a blank canvas. I like to see... I'm a big seltzer guy, so nice to see it at the Konbini.
Have you had the unicorn one? The unicorn drink?
Well, you know, it's hard to come by. You know, this thing's like a Charizard Pokemon card. You know, you gotta know the right people.
You have to pay $400,000 and be a YouTuber to get it.
Exactly. You know, you gotta have real connections to get a unicorn seltzer. You know, so no, I've never had that one, but I have had other collectible flavors, and I gotta tell you, they're all pretty gross. I don't actually think they're meant to be consumed. I think they are legitimately meant to be collected and then, you know, sold for astronomical prices. Asset bubbles all over the place right now. Dogecoin's the only one I care about. Everybody hold. We're going to the moon. Pop it, Elon, bring it home. All right. That's it for that.
All right. Fungible tonic water.
All right. I gotta pull this in. We have like flown way off the handle here. All right. Well, hey, what a podcast there. I just want to say we're closing out now, but before we wrap up, Patrick, is there, you know, anything you want to plug, and, you know, like, where can everybody find you if they want to read what you're writing?
Yeah, I mostly write for the Japan Times, so check in at that website wherever you are in the world. You can also find me on Twitter at mbmelodies. Give me a follow, and don't be afraid by all the Japanese music. Maybe you'll learn about more convenience store Vocaloid characters in the process.
You also have a Substack, right?
I do have a Substack. The link is on the Twitter. It is, I believe, mbmelodies.substack.com for all of your in-depth musings about Japanese music and pop culture.
We'll put the links in the show notes.
Oh, thank you so much. That's great.
Yeah, for sure. Well, wow. What an episode. I think we might have doubled our longest episode of all time, and I gotta say, every single minute of this was golden. This is one of the, you know, most fun podcasts that we've had. I'd just like to, you know, say again, Patrick, thank you so much for coming on. This has been awesome.
Well, thank you so much again for having me on. You guys are amazing. You're carrying the torch of Konbini Watch.
Oh God,
it's
man.
This is new media.
Well, we got to have you back on again soon, but all right. Well, hey, let's wrap it up. You know, I'm sure our moms and our dads are getting tired, so let's wrap it up here. Okay, so I'd just like to extend a real big thanks to everybody who's listening. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of the apps, you know, leave us a like and share. You know, it helps people find the show. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and like. And, you know, we're active on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're especially active on Twitter, so check us out there. Again, huge shout out to Patrick's mom. You know, it's a big blessing to have you as a listener, and you know, please, you know, we really appreciate the support. If you have a Konbini memory, give us a call at 617-453-8207 if you're in the States. If not, you can go to anchor.fm/Konbini Boys and leave a message there.
Google's threatening to take away that number because it's not been used in almost a year, so that may not be active anymore. Yeah.
Okay. I'll give it a call this week. Don't worry.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So this is time sensitive. If you can give us a Konbini memory, that'd be great. All right. Well, hey, I just want to say, you know, thanks so much to Patrick. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. This was really, really a great time. And yeah, I guess for now, we'll see you at the Konbini.
See you at the Konbini, Mike and Patrick.
See you guys at the Konbini.